7 Signs you're overspending without realizing it. Financial freedom is a journey built on mindful spending, intentional saving, and a clear understanding of where your money goes. Yet, even the most well-intentioned can fall into the trap of overspending, often without noticing until it's too late. Overspending doesn't always look like lavish purchases. It can creep into daily habits, draining your resources and derailing your goals. Recognizing the subtle signs of overspending empowers you to take control, realign your habits, and build a secure future. Some people spot these warning signals and adjust their finances to thrive, while others overlook them, risking debt or missed opportunities. The difference lies in identifying 7 key signs that, according to financial research and insights from sources like the Journal of Consumer Affairs and Forbes, indicate you're overspending without realizing it. These signs are grounded in evidence, reflecting the habits of millions managing their money. By the end of this article, you'll know exactly what to watch for, why these signs matter, and how to course correct to achieve your financial dreams. Stay with us, because your path to financial clarity starts now. Let's dive in and uncover how to stop overspending and start thriving. Sign 1. You rely on credit cards for daily expenses. One of the most telling signs you're overspending without realizing it is relying on credit cards for daily expenses, like groceries, gas, or coffee. A 2022 study in the Journal of Consumer Affairs found that 60% of consumers who use credit cards for routine purchases spend 10 to 15% more than those using cash or debit, as cards disconnect you from the immediate cost. If you're swiping for everyday needs and carrying a balance, you're likely overspending, with interest compounding the issue. Picture 2 shoppers. Mia uses her debit card for daily expenses, staying within her budget, while Noah charges groceries and utilities, racking up $500 in interest yearly. Mia's discipline preserves her finances, while Noah's reliance inflates his costs. Credit card use isn't inherently bad. It's the dependence for basics that signals overspending, draining your wealth. To address this, switch to debit or cash for 1 week, tracking spending to stay mindful. If breaking the habit feels tough, start by using cards only for planned purchases. Reflect on your habits. Do you lean on credit for daily needs, or pay with available funds? Cutting card reliance now saves money and stress. Sign 2. Your savings rate is consistently below 10%. A savings rate consistently below 10%, failing to set aside at least a tenth of your income for savings or investments, is a clear sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2021 report by Vanguard noted that a 10 to 15% savings rate is critical for long-term goals like retirement or emergencies, yet 40% of households save less, often due to unchecked spending. If your savings are stagnant or you're barely contributing to accounts like a 401k or emergency fund, overspending is likely eating your surplus. Imagine 2 colleagues. Ava saves 12% of her income monthly, building a robust emergency fund, while Ethan saves just 3%, spending heavily on dining out, leaving him vulnerable. Ava's savings secure her future, while Ethan's low rate risks instability. A low savings rate isn't just tight finances. It's a signal that spending outpaces priorities, hindering your goals. To boost this, automate a 10% transfer to savings each paycheck, starting small if needed, like 5%. If saving feels impossible, cut one discretionary expense, like takeout. Ask yourself, is your savings rate at least 10% or falling short? Prioritizing savings now builds a stronger financial foundation. If you're finding this eye-opening, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here, and consider subscribing for more money-saving tips. Sign 3. You frequently dip into emergency funds. Frequently dipping into your emergency funds, using savings meant for true crises, like job loss or medical bills, for non-emergencies, is a strong sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2023 study by Bankrate found that 25% of Americans tap emergency funds for routine expenses, like car repairs or vacations, depleting reserves and increasing financial stress. If you're pulling from your rainy day fund for things like holiday gifts or minor bills, your spending exceeds your income. Consider 2 savers. Sophia keeps her emergency fund intact, budgeting for irregular costs, and stays secure. Lucas dips into his fund for new gadgets, leaving him exposed when a real crisis hits. Sophia's restraint protects her stability, while Lucas's overspending kindizes him. Dipping into savings isn't just a quick fix, it's a warning that spending habits need tightening, risking your safety net. To stop this, create a separate, miscellaneous fund for non-emergency expenses, saving $50 monthly. If dipping is frequent, Track withdrawals to identify triggers. Reflect on your fund. Is it reserved for crises or treated like a piggy bank? Protecting your emergency savings now ensures true security. Sign 4. You don't track your monthly expenses. Not tracking your monthly expenses, spending without monitoring where your money goes, is a critical sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2022 article in Forbes reported that 65% of people who don't track expenses overspend by 10 to 20% monthly, as small purchases add up unnoticed. If you're unaware of your spending on categories like dining, entertainment, or subscriptions, you're likely leaking money. Picture two budgeters. Chloe uses a tracking app to monitor her spending, catching $200 in unnecessary costs monthly, and redirects it to savings. Max spends freely without tracking, shocked when his account runs low. Chloe's awareness curbs overspending, while Max's ignorance fuels it. Not tracking isn't just carelessness, it's a blind spot that inflates costs, derailing your financial goals. To start, use a free app like Mint or a spreadsheet to log expenses for 30 days, categorizing each purchase. If tracking feels tedious, begin with one category, like food. Ask yourself, do you know where your money goes, or is it a mystery? Tracking expenses now reveals overspending and empowers control. If this resonates, comment number 4 below to share your following along, and subscribe for more financial clarity. Sign 5. You make impulse purchases regularly. Making impulse purchases regularly, buying items on a whim without planning, like clothes or gadgets, is a clear sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2021 study in Journal of Consumer Psychology found that impulse buying accounts for 15 to 20% of discretionary spending, often driven by emotions or sales, leading to budget strain. If you're frequently adding unplanned items to your cart, online or in-store, you're likely overspending. Imagine two shoppers. Emma pauses 24 hours before unplanned buys, saving $300 monthly, while Oliver grabs sale items impulsively, cluttering his home and budget. Emma's restraint boosts her savings, while Oliver's impulses drain his funds. Impulse buying isn't just fun, it's a habit that chips away at your financial health, diverting money from goals. To curb this, adopt a wait 24 hours rule for non-essential purchases, noting items in a list first. If impulses are frequent, shop with a pre-made list only. Reflect on your habits. Do you buy on impulse or plan purchases? Controlling impulses now frees up cash for what matters. Sign 6. Your subscriptions are piling up and used. Having subscriptions piling up and used, paying for services like streaming, gym memberships, or software you rarely use, is a subtle sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2023 report by C+R Research estimated that Americans waste $200 annually on unused subscriptions, as automatic renewals go unnoticed. If you're subscribed to multiple platforms but only use a few, or forget what you're paying for, you're leaking money. Consider two consumers. Mia reviews her subscriptions quarterly, canceling 3 unused services and saving $150 yearly. Ryan pays for 5 streaming apps but watches one, losing $240 annually. Mia's vigilance preserves her budget, while Ryan's oversight inflates his costs. Unused subscriptions aren't just conveniences, they're silent drains, siphoning funds from your goals. To tackle this, list all subscriptions using a tool like Rocket Money, canceling at least one unused service. If reviewing feels overwhelming, check bank statements for recurring charges. Ask yourself, are your subscriptions all active or piling up and used? Streamlining subscriptions now boosts your financial efficiency. If you're inspired, comment number 6 below to let me know you're here, and consider subscribing for more budget-tightening strategies. Sign 7. You're not budgeting for irregular expenses. Not budgeting for irregular expenses, failing to plan for costs like car maintenance, gifts, or taxes that hit sporadically, is a final sign you're overspending without realizing it. A 2022 study by NerdWallet found that 50% of households overspend on unplanned expenses, often covering them with credit or savings, as they lack dedicated funds. If you're caught off guard by annual fees or holiday costs, forcing you to scramble, your spending is out of control. Picture two planners. Ava sets aside $100 monthly for irregular expenses, covering car repairs stress-free. Lucas ignores these costs, dipping into savings for every surprise, weakening his finances. Ava's foresight ensures stability, while Lucas's lack of planning fuels overspending. Ignoring irregular expenses isn't just oversight, It's a budget gap that disrupts your financial flow. To fix this, estimate annual irregular costs, e.g., $1,200 for maintenance, and save monthly, $100, in a separate account. If planning feels complex, start with one expense, like gifts. Ask yourself, do you budget for irregular costs, or get blindsided? Planning for surprises now keeps your finances on track. Final thoughts. Now that you've explored these 7 signs, take a moment to celebrate your commitment to financial mastery. Are you relying on credit, saving too little, dipping into emergency funds, not tracking expenses, buying impulsively, hoarding subscriptions, or ignoring irregular costs? These aren't failures, they're signals you're ready to take charge and stop overspending, paving the way for a secure, empowered future. Every action you take, switching to debit, tracking spending, or canceling a subscription, brings you closer to financial freedom. Keep refining your habits by starting today. Download a budgeting app, review subscriptions, or set a savings goal. Seek wisdom from books like Your Money or Your Life, tools like Anab, or financial blogs to stay motivated. If overspending feels overwhelming, don't worry. One small change, like pausing an impulse buy, can spark progress. Your financial potential is limitless, and the world needs your clarity and discipline to shine. If you found this article motivating, comment "final thoughts" below, and subscribe for more inspiration to master your money and live your best life.